What's up everyone, this is Luke from Guide to Match Betting. Today we're going to be talking about a very high risk strategy which looks at whether you should be laying your bets or not. Before we get started, as always, if you are brand new to match betting and you haven't got yourself started yet, go to Guide to Match Betting homepage, pop your email address in on the big feature bit that says Learn Match Betting in 10 days. I'll send you a 5-part email course completely for free that will teach you the ropes. Let's get into the main topic of our discussion now today, which is whether you should be laying your bets or not. I must give you this warning, this is a very high risk strategy. It's not for the faint-hearted. If you don't have a tolerance for risk or for variance, then this is not going to be for you. If you can't stomach a casino offer, if you don't like losing streaks in things like poker, this probably won't be for you. Likewise, if you've still got a small match betting bankroll, I would completely advise that you don't try this technique. Even if you do fall into the brackets of not being risk averse, or if you don't have a big bankroll, I would recommend watching this video anyway, because it might be something that can help you in the future. There'll be lots of knowledge in here that I hope you can pick up, and it will help you on your betting journey overall. Before we start looking at the betting market, I want to talk to you about a simple coin flip. Now we've got one here. What are the odds of this landing on heads? It didn't land on heads, don't know if you can see that. I don't know why I actually needed to flip a coin actually, but we'll just go with it anyway. If you were to give me odds of evens on flipping the coin landing on heads, would I take the bet? Well, obviously I would take the bet, and you would take the bet. So if it's evens or 2.0, we both have a 50% chance of winning a coin flip, and we're both going to get paid the fair and equal price. So what is the EV or expected value? And based on those odds, 2.0 or evens, the EV is nothing, £0. If we were to flip a coin 1,000,000 times, we would both expect to break even based on those odds. However, what if we were only going to flip the coin once? What is the EV of a single coin flip? Well, the EV is still £0, but obviously one of us are going to lose 50p. Now, hopefully you can see where I'm going with this and trying to tie it into a sports bet. So let's say you've only got one attempt at flipping the coin and you didn't want to lose your full stake. You might want to consider laying it off. So let's say that Betfair or Smarkets allow us to lay off our coin flip on the exchange. In this instance, whilst we would be guaranteed to not lose 50p, the EV would be negative. We would be expected to lose like 1p or 2, 3p, something like that, depending on what your commission rate is. Even if you were to actually win the coin flip, you would lose out in EV, which means if we were to do it 1,000,000 times, you would lose a considerable amount of money if you were laying the bets off. And this is because of commission. Even if you were getting the fair price on the exchange, because you pay commission on it, you're still going to be losing out. Before I get into the real discussion around the betting prices and all that, I want to preface this by saying I'm not knocking betting exchanges at all. I think the idea of commission works much better than bookmakers do. You get a fairer price. I'm all for exchanges and commission, but obviously we're always looking to try and maximize our profits here from our match bets, and that's why I'm talking about this method today. In a little while, we're going to have some really important things to consider about the betting markets in general, but first I want to show you the basic numbers behind not laying a qualifying bet or not laying a free bet. Let's say we've got a qualifying bet and the stake is £25. The odds are evens. Again, just like the coin flip, what we'll do is we'll stick to odds of evens for this for the most part, just to simplify things. So you can see there, we've got £25 stake, the back odds are 2, the lay odds are 2, and we'll say it's on Betfair with a 5% commission, and you're guaranteed to lose 64 pence on that qualifying bet. If it was on Smarkets, you would be losing 25p. You're never guaranteed to lose £25, but in theory, this is the same as a coin flip. As I said, we are going to get into some discussion around the markets, which is very important for you to consider. Make sure you keep watching until you hear what I have to say about everything else. If the back odds are 2 and the lay odds are 2, that is the same as a coin flip. We shouldn't be losing any money, but we are because of the commission. And just to show that, if the commission was 0%, our overall profit, hopefully you can see it behind me now, would be £0, and our EV would be £0. What if this was a free bet? If this was a free bet now, at odds of 2 and lay odds of 2, you'd be expected to get £12.50 back on average, because you're going to win the bet half of the time. Half of the time you're going to win your £25 stake. Of course, you don't get the money back, so that's £25 profit. And half the time you're going to lose, which means you get no profit. On average, that works out to £12.50, which is completely right. But if you throw commission into that, you're not getting the £12.50 EV. You're getting £12.37 or £12.18, depending on what exchange you use. So as you can see, you are losing out on between 20, 30p, that sort of range. You might think this is small. Once you're placing multiple 20, 30, £40 bets a day, this quickly racks up the EV you can save with this no-lay method is pretty astounding. It is in the hundreds of pounds. One thing you may not have noticed there is the EV on the free bet at odds of 2.0. You would never want to gamble or punt or no-lay your free bet at odds of evens. Even though you're going to win more of the time, why would you want to guarantee yourself £12.50 in EV? Let's say you're going at odds of 4 and you are actually going to lay the bet off. You're going to get £18 back. You're going to get that £18 back as long as you put your figures in right. So why would you punt it at odds of 2 for £12.50? Well, you absolutely wouldn't. If you're already into match betting, you'll know that pretty much we can get 80% of the value of a free bet, which is £20 on a £25 stake, and that would be at odds of 5. If there was no commission, at odds of 5 and lay odds of 5, if we were to just punt it off, we would be picking up £20 in EV for each bet. If we were to lay it off, we'd get £19.68 or £19.19 or somewhere in that sort of range. This means if you are going to be gambling your free bets by not laying them, in order to pick up the extra EV, you really need to go for odds of 5 or above. So the price point of 5.0 is your cutoff point for profitability between laying and not laying. And what is important to remember is when the odds are this big, you're only going to win 20% of the time on average. This is the same as doing a casino off with an 80% bust rate, except you're never going to sometimes make a loss of a small amount. You're always going to lose your full stake if you lose, and you're always going to win back a set amount if you win. I hope what I'm saying is making sense to you so far, but just a quick recap. If you are to lay off a bet on Betfair, your bookmaker odds are 5, your lay odds are 5 as well. Your expected value is £19.19. If you weren't to lay that at all, your expected value would be £20, a difference of 81 pence. If you were to do this kind of bet like 5 times a day, that's £4, £4 and 5p. If you were to do that every day of the week, you're already looking at £28 and whatever the maths is. I'm not good enough at maths to figure that out off the top of my head. If you're picking up £28 in extra EV each week, you can quickly see how this kind of profit adds up. But this is the important part for you to consider, the market in general. What I'm going to do is take this game that's Brighton versus Chelsea, and at the time of recording, this is taking place tomorrow night. Just trying to get it on screen so you can see all of that information. As you can see, top left, it's on tomorrow. There's £172,000 of matched money in the market, and there's plenty of liquidity as well. Now this means it's a fairly busy market. There's lots of money gone into it, which means the prices should be fairly accurate. However, because it's on tomorrow night, the odds that you lay at now are only the fair price for the odds based on current team news. Let's say you were to place a small qualifying bet of £10 at odds of 1.66. Because the lay odds are 1.66 as well, we just learned that not laying that should in theory be more profitable than laying it. However, this is only based on the fair price with current team news that is available. What if you were to place that back bet now and then tomorrow before the match, they announce the team and they've rested a load of players, or they've picked up a couple of injuries? The odds are then going to drift and you're not getting the expected value that you should have therefore got. If you are going to try this technique, you need to look out for a few things. Firstly, you're going to want to make sure you're doing it quite close to the game time. You should really be waiting for the teams to come out so that you can see the prices. But also, if the team aren't really prone to rotation, if they don't have any cup matches coming up or they don't have any important fixtures a few days away, and the team news you've got is reliable in advance, these are all kinds of things that can help you bet a little bit earlier. Also, you're going to want to make sure that there has been a lot of money matched on the market so that you know the prices are fair. If there's not been much money matched in a market, this means that it doesn't have that collective knowledge of the entire market. The more money that goes in, the more bettors and traders are working together to push the prices in the most fair direction. This is of course highly relevant to football. In horse racing, the odds fly around all over the place. I just don't recommend trying the no-lay method on the horses in general, to be honest. I personally don't know enough about each horse to know whether the price is a fair price. I know you go off the market, but everything moves around so quickly pre-race that you never really know if you've got a fair price unless you truly understand horse racing. So the things you're going to want to look out for: a lot of money already matched, a lot of money in the market as well. So you can see behind me there that there's plenty of money waiting to be matched. You're going to want to make sure you've got up-to-date and relevant information. It's as close to kick-off time as possible. You're thinking about your bankroll in general. You don't want to be not laying your qualifying bet if it's like £1,000 stake or something ridiculous, unless you've got a serious 6-figure balance. I would not ever recommend going with 4-figure no-lays, to be honest. Again, with the free bets, you're going to want to make sure that all those rules are adhered to as well, but you want odds of 5.0 or above. Hopefully everything I've said to you in this is making sense. The fact that you can squeeze extra EV out of every single offer by not laying them off is a massive factor, not just in profitability, but in time as well. You're placing your back bet, but if you're not laying it, you're already halving the time it takes to actually place your bets. Factor in the fact that you don't have to go on an exchange, you don't have to search for your match, you don't have to use a calculator to calculate your stake or anything like that. I'm going to say it's probably 3 times faster to not lay your bets and slightly more profitable as well. As I said at the start of this video, this is a high risk strategy. It is only slightly more profitable. So this really does depend on 3 things: how much time you have on your hands and whether you want to be more efficient, what your risk tolerance is mentally, and what your risk tolerance is financially. If this video has helped you out at all, make sure you hit subscribe. We're going to be doing lots of betting and sports related content on this channel going forward. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and hit like as well if you have found this video useful. Thank you very much for watching.